Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor. For those of you who have never been here before, welcome to the channel. I post videos all about The Sims 4, including 100 baby series, a rags to riches series, and so much more. You can follow me on Twitter here, give this video a like if you enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel. So in today's video, a few weeks ago I posted a community tab post asking you guys what annoys you in The Sims. I didn't want this to be like big things, like babies or objects. I wanted it to be like little random things that happen, little kind of glitches that happen sometimes, or just annoying things that happen to you while you play The Sims. And you guys came through. There were over 200 comments on that community tab post, and I compiled over 50 of like my favorites, or ones that had a lot of likes, or just ones that made me laugh. And I just want to talk about them. It's really fun to just kind of go over and see what kind of things Simmers hate and that annoy Simmers in The Sims 4. So that's what we're doing today. We're just going to go over some comments and have a little bit of fun. So this comment here by Sunshine Moonlight says, I don't know if this is a minor or bigger thing, but not having diagonal staircases really annoys me. This is something that drives me absolutely up the wall, the fact that we can't make diagonal staircases, because sometimes you can have a house that you want to have a diagonal section on and you want your staircase over there, but there's no way to make it work. So you have a house that's facing this way, but stairs that are facing this way, and it's so annoying. It's such a little detail that you think that they would add, but they just haven't. This comment here by Shanna says, the cooking animations are so dumb. Why are you juggling knives? Your kids are starving. Honestly, I completely agree with this one. It is so true. The cooking animations in previous Sims games were better. I especially remember The Sims 2, where your Sims would literally like open cabinets and like grab things. Now they just go to the fridge, grab some stuff, come back, and they're just throwing things and being absolute maniacs. I don't really understand why the cooking animations are like this in the game, but it does make it very unrealistic and like not fun to watch. I don't know if that's just me, but maybe it is. I don't know. The next comment here from James says, how big, weird, or high up the mirrors are, like why? This one's pretty funny because I remember when Tiny Living came out, we got that one. It's kind of like an oval shaped mirror. I really actually like the vibe of the mirror, but it's literally up higher than the Sims' heads. And I don't understand why the mirrors are so high. I've never understood why most of the mirrors are so high, and some of them are huge, and it's like, okay, can we just get something like a little bit smaller that's like a little bit more realistic? We don't need something that's that giant all the time. Some of the mirrors are really good, but most of them are horrendous. This next one is season specific, and it says, I found those little gnomes that visit are much annoying. They flood the floor, ruin electronic devices, violating our personal space, and all those scattered seeds. If you have ever participated in Winterfest in The Sims 4, you will understand the issues with the gnomes. You have to please the gnomes, and then when you do, all they do is just leave all of these seeds everywhere, which is a good way to make money in the game, but it can be really, really annoying. I understand that. However, if you do end up planting them, you can make money for Sim years and years to come, or you can sell the seeds for 100 simoleons each. So if you appease the gnomes early enough in the day, you can make a decent amount of money. So I don't really know if I agree with this one. I do think they're kind of annoying. They do take up a lot of space, and if you make them mad, they will ruin everything, but they can be really valuable. This next one from Dead Dread Punk says, celebs showing up on lots that are not marked as celeb hotspots, so Judith Ward enters my dive bars like it's her scene. Oh my god, Judith shows up everywhere. First of all, I've seen her in some crazy outfits, which is just like, what are you doing, Judith? Stop it. And she shows up all over the place. She'll literally be at like any event that you're at for some reason, and then she's just glowing because she's famous, and it's just like, Judith, go home. You live in like the pinnacle, like the big beautiful homes in like the Hollywood Hills of The Sims 4 in Del Sol Valley. Like, go home, or like go somewhere that's a hot spot so you can meet other celebrities. Like, stop coming to hang out with my poor Sims who are just trying to live their lives and have a good time. The next comment by Silver Sleeper says, if I dare to sit on my couch at a friend's house, I'm being too intrusive, but random people off the street can wander in and use my computer, and my Sim doesn't care at all. And beyond that, not being able to do those things if you visit a family member's house, I'm pretty sure my mother wouldn't kick me out for using the toilet. It's really annoying if you like have a party for like Harvest Fest or something, and you're like have all of your Sims over to like someone else's house. Like if you go to say your mother's house or your grandma's house and you like want to help cook in The Sims 4, they're just like, no, don't do that, leave my house. And then you can sometimes even get kicked out, even if you have a good relationship with those Sims. So it's one of the most annoying things. And the fact that every Sim that walks into your house goes straight to the computer, stop it. Just stop it. Julie said that ghosts constantly break all household appliances and plumbing. This has been driving me crazy in the Rags to Riches challenge lately because Johnny Zest is a ghost currently. If you haven't been watching that series, you should definitely be doing that, but like, but he literally breaks everything. We had him break literally the toilet, the sink, and the shower in the last episode, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Stop it. But they do break everything all the time. If you do add them to your household, you can have them do a ghostly repair and they repair it quite quickly, but it is annoying that they do it in the first place. Like, why do you have to haunt everything? I find it very funny that so many of you mentioned Judith Ward. Matthew said, Judith Ward fishing by starter homes in Willow Creek, and the way that all Sims gather in one place in community lots. It genuinely does not make sense that Judith Ward would be fishing everywhere all the time. I do find her fishing. I've found her in like the most random places. She'll be at the back of the park in Oasis Springs fishing, and I'm like, are you just trying to like have a normal life? Do you want to like not be famous and like live like the rest of us? I don't understand. And also, Sims do tend to congregate all in one area around wherever your Sim is. And I find it kind of annoying because it's unrealistic. If you were at a bar or something, there'd be people at the bar, people at tables, people dancing, people in the bathroom, like just people all over the place. But it seems like they're always just like, let's all hang out together. Let's all be best friends. And I'm like, no, get away from me. Tornado Splash 44 said, when my Sims panic and don't put out a fire and either let the house burn down or they catch on fire and die. Thankfully, with the addition of firefighters earlier this year, this is a little bit less of a problem, but like if you don't have a fire alarm in your house and you don't call the fire department, your Sims still have the chance of dying. And it's very funny to kill Sims sometimes. Ooh, that's not good. But honestly, it's annoying when you don't want it to happen, and it happened a lot before we got firefighters. Like, a lot of my Sims died because I wasn't paying attention. This one is actually something that I've never thought about. So Arabella said, we need an excuse me please option to move Sims that you don't control out of the way. When Sims get food out of the fridge and then eat in front of the fridge so no other Sims can access the fridge. When clueless Sims try to care for the baby and your Sim can't get to it. I don't know how many times I've had to go into build mode and move the object away from the offending Sim. And this is just one of those things that I've genuinely like never thought about. Like if you invite Sims over, they're in the way all the time. And I've never been like, oh, it would be nice to be able to be like, hey, excuse me, get out of my way. Huh. That is very interesting to me, and I think that the team should listen and do that. Morgan said, the fact that we can't change specific ages of life stages, I want to be able to make my young adults live longer at a specific lifespan and my toddlers live longer without altering the lifespans of other life stages, such as adult, elders, children's, teenagers, and babies. This was actually something that was possible in The Sims 3. We were able to change the specific number of days that each life stage would be, and I just wish that we had that kind of customization again. I recently actually saw Plumbella tweet something about it, and I'm like, yeah, we really do need to be able to do things like that. We need to be able to toggle certain things on and off and have those options for ourselves and not just have it be chosen for us. I can't even begin to explain how many of you commented about toddlers and high chairs. There were so many people talking about this. So this one from Haiti, I'm not entirely sure how to say your name. When one parent puts the toddler in the high chair and the other parent picks up the toddler immediately after. This is one of those things that I will not use a toddler high chair in any of my Sims houses because I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with that. They are so ridiculous. They never let the kids finish eating. They never let you put the kid in the high chair for more than 2 seconds without someone else swooping in and taking them out before you've even given them food. And it's just such a waste of time and energy. I feed all my kids on the floor. This one from Charlotte says, when a Sim doesn't even know a relative and then when that relative dies, they're sad for like 4 days and they didn't even know them. When you have a boyfriend and girlfriend and ask to just be friends, your Sim isn't even sad about the breakup. And how many times Sims change seats to talk to other Sims. While playing the 100 Baby Challenge, you have a lot of your like matriarch's children die because Sims don't age while they're pregnant. So then their children die and then all of their children who are still in the house get really sad. And I'm like, okay, but like you've never met your mother's first, second, third, fourth, fifth children. You're number 30, you did not know them, so don't be sad that they're dead. Thankfully, if you have the UI cheats extension installed on your game, you can definitely just like click and get rid of those, and that's what I've decided to just do instead because I can't deal with it. It makes me so angry. Also, it is very frustrating that Sims don't really care if you're like, oh, let's just be friends. Like, I feel like the other Sims should be sad if that's a thing that's happening in a relationship. This comment here from EC says, when my toddlers don't finish their food but complain about being hungry. I don't understand why it's kind of like a gameplay feature that toddlers just don't ever finish a full meal. Like, they eat like half of it and then they put it down, but then they're never full. Like, am I doing something wrong? Am I supposed to feed them a lot more often than just when their hunger's red? Because that's usually when I pay attention to them. But like, it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a thing. I don't know. Is that a weird one? This one from Daisy says, when your Sim is about to clear out the trash and then drops it on the floor. This is something that's always driven me crazy about The Sims. This used to happen a lot more, I think, in like The Sims 2, where you'd be like, okay, take out the garbage. And they would just like pick it up and walk with it and then just be like, okay, bye. Just throw it on the floor. It drives me up the wall because it's just like, please, I'm trying to get you to do one simple task. Can you please just take out the garbage? This game is so glitchy sometimes. It drives me nuts. This comment says, when my sim is on a date and other people walk up and sit at their table and start interacting. Excuse me, this is a 2-person date, not 7. I really do wish that for some event types, especially dates, if you're like sitting at a restaurant, like other sims wouldn't come talk to you. Or if you're doing specific tasks, sims won't come and talk to you. Because it's like, I just want to get this thing done. I just want these 2 sims to have this moment. And I don't want people like Eliza Pancakes coming to converse in the middle of my date, because that is not romance. Like, it's not gonna make me feel more romantic that Eliza Pancakes is like, hey friends. So Molly said, Sims picking up toddlers and then setting them back down immediately, and it taking 2 hours to eat a sandwich. Also, I want to see the needs of pets and babies. I don't understand why we can't at least hover over the babies and see what is their most urgent need. Like, in previous games, we were able to control our pets and tell our pets to do things and see their needs and all of that, and it made it feel more real. Like, I don't know. I know in real life you can't tell what your pet or your baby needs because you can't talk to them or do anything about that, but I just feel like it's a simulation game, it's not real life, so I feel like we should be able to click onto our babies and see what's wrong with them so that we can help them in a more efficient way. If you do have the Sims for Parenthood, I believe, as you gain the parenting skill, you'll be able to see what's wrong with them, like in a little bubble above their head, but even that is just like, I just want to see their needs. I want to see how bad they are, if I need to deal with them now, or if I should just wait and deal with them later. This next comment says 3 words: randomly generated townies. The randomly generated outfits in The Sims 4 are kind of ridiculous. I do believe in the last patch, though, they did have something about how they were kind of changing the way that it works a little bit to make less horrible outfits. I do still see the eyeball ring all the time on every sim that is just random, and I want it to stop. I just want the eyeball ring to go away forever, and a couple pieces of base game clothing just need to be like, goodbye, because they're not good. I just want them gone. Diana said, why can't my sim sit at the table and eat like a family? Why is there always someone that takes a plate to the living room and eats there on its own? This is one of the biggest complaints with The Sims 4. I really miss the way that it worked in The Sims 2. How if you were to like make a meal and then you would like get it ready for everybody. So your sim would like make this meal, and if there were 4 people currently in the household, they would place 3 plates down at the table, and then they would grab themselves a plate and go sit at the table with these other plates. And then you would like, everybody would come to the meal and sit at these plates that were already set out for them. And if they just added that back, I would be so happy, because it was just such a cute little moment when like Mortimer Goth would be cooking for Cassandra and Alexander and just be like, here, food, enjoy. And it brought me a lot of joy. This one is very specific to eco lifestyle. Every time I would take my rags to riches sim out dumpster diving, Nancy Landgrab would be there dumpster diving. Now, you know Nancy Landgrab is not going to be dumpster diving, and that just makes me crazy. The Landgrabs are supposed to be some of the most rich, wealthy people in The Sims 4. Like, I feel like the Landgrabs have more money than like Judith Ward does, even though she lives in the pinnacles of Del Sol Valley and they live in Oasis Springs. Like, they're supposed to have so much money and like be old money wealthy. I swear every time you go dumpster diving, the people that are there are people like the Landgrabs or the Goths, and it's like all these rich people dumpster diving, and I'm like, no, give me poor people who live on a lot by themselves who are dumpster diving because they have to. Like, don't give me people who like have tons of money and live in a mansion. I don't trust you. Amanda said, my Sims obsessively drink coffee to the point of becoming dazed. They drink it even when they're not that tired, too. It makes having a coffee machine in the house an annoyance. I honestly never add coffee to my houses anymore because the Sims would make coffee and it would go bad and then it would be stinky and then I would have to throw it away. And I was like, you're just wasting 8 simoleons, stop it. This never actually happens to me because I don't ever add them. I don't add the tea brewers either, which honestly I should because I drink coffee every morning. So like, But then I would be really annoyed if my Sims were always drinking coffee to the point where they drank too much coffee. That would drive me... No, stop it. We have another comment about coffee. So Awesome Pick Ninja said, when I try to auto-solve their energy, but instead of sleeping, they just want to drink coffee every time. Auto-solving is a great way to have things done quickly in The Sims, but honestly, most of the time, if you click on the energy, they're going to drink coffee or go take a nap on the couch, or even go take a nap in their bed and not just go to sleep for the night, and it is so annoying. I wish that it would just like automatically send them to bed for the night and not tell them to do things like that. It's the little things. The next comment comes from Shani. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at pronouncing names. It's very hard having fun or a social life at university. It takes forever for Sims to do homework. I went to university and I was able to have fun and work hard. I 100% agree that it's really hard to get your Sims to have a social life if you're taking a full course load in The Sims 4 Discover University. The only tip that I really have is if you get your research and debate skill up before they start university, so work on it while they're a teenager, you can get your homework done much quicker, they'll finish their projects much quicker, and they'll write their papers much quicker, so you can have a little bit of extra time, but other than that, taking a full course load is just never a good time for your Sims. This comment from Deb, I feel it so hard. It says, when you bake a cake to age up a sim and someone grabs a piece of cake right when you're ready to light the candles and you have to bake a new cake. I honestly feel that. It happens to my sims all the time and it's very annoying. So I get it to a point where I make sure everyone is doing something, make one person bake the cake and put the candles on immediately so that no one has a chance to swipe it. This comment says, when I'm trying to flirt with the sim, but they keep trying to leave. I don't understand why this happens so often. When I'm playing the 100 Baby Challenge, I'll be like out in public and the sims will just be walking away and I'm like, excuse me, am I not good enough for you? Can you please just love me? Don't leave me, love me. This next comment from AllieCat13 says, when my sims keep getting glasses of water, and I'm sure that we've all felt that one. I know that like you're supposed to drink water in real life, you know, you should drink water often, but when the sims are going to grab a glass of water anytime they don't have an action to do, then just go grab water autonomously instead of doing anything useful or valuable to me. And then I have to clean up all the glasses all over the house. I just can't deal with it. It's just such an irritation in my gameplay. Carissa said, when I need my sim to give a toddler a bath and they set them in the tub and then immediately get them out and stand around annoyed because the kid is stinky. It just seems like a lot of the annoyance is like, parents and toddlers don't work well together. The parents just want the toddlers on the floor and the toddlers need to be doing something else. This comment from Crazy Simmer doesn't need comments from me. The eyeball ring. Faye says, when you hire a maid or a butler and watch them stand in a filthy house for 4 sim hours and then just leave and still charge you. If this happened in real life, there would be like hands thrown and you would fire them. The fact that these Sims service workers never do anything. The nannies don't take care of the children until babies are screaming. They don't take care of the toddlers unless there's something really wrong with them, unless you go up to them and be like, hey, can you give me a bath? Like nothing happens. They don't do anything and they are so useless. Sunny said, it annoys me that the family tree changes depending on who you are clicked on. I want to be able to see everyone at once. This is a major disappointment of mine. I really do miss the old family tree kind of style where it would just show everybody and you could just look at it forever because it looked so cool. But now when whoever you're clicked on, you can only see like their immediate family, not even everybody. And it's very disappointing. The genealogy system in The Sims 4 is not very good. And it wasn't even in the base game. It was added at a later date. So it's like, you could have at least done well if you didn't add it to the base game. Like, come on. This comment from Jan says, the fact that my sim can catch their significant other cheating, but they're still happy because the house is nicely decorated and the fireplace is lit. Now, I haven't tested this personally, but I do think that the new sentiment system might help with this a little bit and have your sims kind of hold grudges against people who cheat on them and not have that be as big of a thing. I've seen people actually have videos where people are just autonomously slapping the person who cheated on them. So I really hope that this is at least fixed a little bit, but I do know that it's probably not and that the emotion system is very broken, so I get that. This comment here says, not being able to tell my sim spouse about their promotion, it really breaks the immersion for me. This is something that I've never thought about. I remember in The Sims 2, sorry that I only have references from The Sims 2, I played so much of it and I didn't play as much of The Sims 3 because I was in university, just letting you know. But I do remember in The Sims 2, if your kids got a good grade, they would literally like wag their homework in the air and run to their parents to tell them, and it felt like a really proud moment that you would have with your Sims parents. And now you can't even tell them if you get promoted at school, if you get promoted at work. Like, it just feels like that's something you would come home and tell your significant other about, or tell your kids about, or tell your neighbors. I don't know, you just go and tell somebody that you got a promotion. I've never thought about that. Wow. Amy said, the ridiculous size of some of the objects, like the cupcake machine or the microscope. I'm pretty sure I got like 12 comments about the microscope and about the cupcake machine. These objects are stupidly big. It makes no sense that they're this big. They don't fit into any Sim's house. Why would you put a microscope in your backyard if it's that big? Give me a telescope. I just want a telescope. Please help me. Normal telescope, not an observatory. What are you doing? This one says, no jackets as accessories in CAS. Sometimes I want a sim to wear a cute shirt or dress, but also be a bit more modest or warm. I just want to layer. I would love to be able to add scarves. That's another thing that I would love to add to all outfits. I'd love to be able to add jackets, just go over top. Like, it doesn't seem like it's that complicated, but I guess it would change things. I don't know. I feel like if they're going to do The Sims 5, they have to do it right, so they have to add things like this. I just want to be able to wear a jacket. I love jackets, or like a cardigan over a cute t-shirt, you know, little things like that. Layers, 100%, I totally agree with you. This comment says, what really annoys me is that when Sims are eating and you try to start a conversation with the other Sims at the table, they have to get up and greet each other or rearrange their seating at the table. I have to make my poor Sims eat in silence because of this. Honestly, I've given up on ever having my Sims talk to each other while they eat because it's so annoying. There's no reason for them to act like that. There's no reason that they should be doing things where they're just all over the place and hugging each other and getting up and not focusing on the meal. Like, eat the food. The food should take priority. Eat the food. Enjoy your food. This comment from Emma says, when my sim gets out of bed just to pass out. I don't understand why this still happens in 2020, almost 2021. Why are the sims, they're so tired that they have to go to bed, so you get them into bed. Then they realize, I'm so tired, so they get out of bed, and then they fall asleep on the floor. What is that? Why is that a thing? I don't understand. Okay, I know I already mentioned the microscope, but Margie said, why is the microscope so darn big? I want to look at plant cuttings, not Pluto. And I just thought that that was funny, and it made me laugh. So that's why this comment was added. This comment from Quinn says, trash cans don't place against the wall. I always have to alt place the trash cans. It drives me crazy. And half the towners will come over for the welcome wagon or something, and then just get straight on my Sim's computer. I got a ton of comments about the computer thing, but the trash cans thing, I've never even really thought about. I just intuitively always alt place them, so I've never thought about it as an annoying thing. But I guess it is annoying. Why aren't they against the wall? Like, most people would have their trash can against the wall. This comment says, not sure how to say it, but I hate when all the commands I give my Sims in a row just get erased. Yeah. It'll be like, I'll get their entire queue full of things I want them to do, and then all of a sudden they're just like, no, I'm not going to do any of that. And it's like, I am controlling this simulation. You will listen to me. But they don't love us. They don't care about us. This comment from Liz says, it annoys me how whenever I have kitchen counters in a bathroom, my Sims decide to go up 2 floors, go through the hallway and the bedroom to cook, and then go through the bedroom and the hallway, walk down 2 floors, and put it in the oven. Yep. That is pretty annoying, especially when you have a really big house and you're like, where's that Sim? They're supposed to be cooking, and they're in the bathroom. You're just like, why? Why are you doing that? This comment, the second half really got me. They said, oh yeah, laundry combined with get famous. Don't make a fashion tips video with the laundry in the house, you have been warned. So if you have the more views video station, I believe it's called, and you do a fashion tips video, your Sim will literally just spin and change clothes a bunch of times. And if you have laundry in your house, each time they spin, the clothes will be dirty and you'll have to wash them. So you'll have so much laundry to do and it'll be all over the place because none of your laundry bins will be able to hold all of it, and it is so frustrating. This comment from Savannah says, when I throw a party and instead of everyone hanging out on the first floor that's nicely decorated, they decide to go up to the bedrooms on the second floor. Like when I go to their house and cook, they get mad, but for some reason they can do it at my house, no problem. It just reminds me of all of those moms that are like, make sure that the bedrooms are clean when all of your friends come over, because it's like, yeah, they're gonna go see the bedrooms, and it's like, no, they're not. But in The Sims, they will. Adriana said, when Sims feeling energized and they start doing push-ups everywhere like total idiots. This one's really funny to me because I was thinking about it and I was like, wait, what if people did this in real life? What if we just started doing push-ups whenever we felt like it? Out of nowhere. Like you're just like in a store and you're like, oh, okay, push-up time. Like imagine how weird people would look at you. Some things Sims do just don't make sense. This comment says, what annoys me in The Sims 4 is I want to stand there or talk to a tree without someone trying to talk to me. I thought this one was kind of funny because most people are like, I want to talk to another person and not have other Sims come up and talk to me. But this player was like, no, I want to talk to a tree and have nobody come up and talk to me. I just think it's funny that no matter where you are or what you're trying to do, other characters in The Sims will always come and try and talk to you. It doesn't matter if you're talking to a tree or talking to a Sim. This next comment says, Sims with children never seem to meet other Sims with children, so toddler playdates seem impossible. Yeah, and most of the families that are pre-made in the worlds don't have toddlers. So it's like, okay, how are we supposed to have a toddler playdate if there are no toddlers in the world, unless we go and have people have babies for this specific purpose and add toddlers to families? It's pretty hard to meet other toddlers. It's even hard to meet other kids sometimes unless you get the kids to do it while they're at school or just have them hang out in a park all day on a Saturday. It's really annoying that it's hard to make friends. This next comment is just Eliza pancakes. That's all. No explanation. This next one says, no one in town seems to know each other unless they are related. If I'm honest, that's not even true because in the lore of The Sims 4, which doesn't really exist, Johnny Zest is supposed to be related to the land grabs and he doesn't even know them. So the Sims in The Sims 4 just don't know each other unless they live in the same household. And it's frustrating. And I really wish that the team would update that. Please. Lucy said, when you're trying to find someone to date, but only Nancy Landgrab and the bartender are available. It really seems like a lot of you are very offended by Nancy Landgrab and by Judith Ward being around. Like they're not allowed to exist. But like I agree, it's always the weirdest Sims. I find that the sages from Realm of Magic are pretty much at every bar all the time, and it's like, no, I don't want a magical like spouse for this Sim. I want a normal Sim. This is a human Sim Sim for my spouse, like the spouse of my Sim. Like I don't want them to be married to a vampire or a spellcaster or a mermaid. I just want a Sim, just normal things. This comment says, children making messes all the time. I honestly do agree with this quite a bit. The children in The Sims 4 are annoying and they're always painting on the floor and I don't understand why they do it and I really wish they would stop. That's all. This comment here was just really, really sweet, and it says, I can't hold my child's hand and go on walks. I've never even really thought about stuff like that. Like, you can't hold hands even with your spouse or your partner while you're walking down the street, and you can't hold your child's hands and like have like a cute moment like with a toddler or something. That would be so, I would cry. If they added something like that, I would cry, 100%. Casey said, just a mild annoyance for me, but I hate seeing pack-specific Sims in other worlds that aren't theirs. Excuse me, Jeb Harris, go back to Evergreen Harbor. I honestly have never really thought about that, but you're totally right. Like, why is it always Sims that are from different worlds that are hanging out at the bar? Why is it never the Sims that actually live in that world that are at any of the social events? I definitely agree. That is kind of annoying. And like, if I'm gonna go to Oasis Springs, like, I want to meet the Calientes. I don't want to meet somebody who lives in Willow Creek. Like, stop it. This one says, when you click go home when you're in a community lot and the Sims walk all the way to the edge of the lot and it takes forever for them to leave, and that's not even including the loading screen. I was starting to get really annoyed by this in my gameplay, so I've gotten to the point where I just hit the M travel button and just click on their home and send them home that way, because I can't stand waiting for them to walk through the entire park or the entire lot of a bar or any of that. I don't have the patience. Tyler said, it's always bothered me that I can't create my own styled looks. It would be really cool if we were able to create custom styled looks and just have them in our game so you can use them all the time, because a lot of the ones that are in the game aren't even that good. Like, they'd have a couple that are okay, but most of them are just kind of like, what are you even thinking here? And it would be cool if we could just make our own, or even just lock things in cast. Like, there's a lot of little options I wish we had in Create a Sim that I think would really improve the gameplay. Angel said, the constant asking for advice and calls from the school. This is even worse if you're playing Hunter Baby. I know I say, like, we play Hunter Baby on this channel, so we talk about that a lot, but there are so many children, so you constantly have all of these things popping up, and it's just like, I just want to make these Sims' lives happy. Can you stop? I don't care. Punish them. Do it. I don't care. Morgan said, there isn't any toasters. In addition to this, to also like give a little shout out to Plumbella's parents, very random, there needs to also be a kettle. You need to be able to make tea, you know, with an actual kettle. And a toaster, make some toast. You know, you're making eggs and toast, but where are you toasting that toast? On the stove? Who does that? Get a toaster. And the final comment says, so many things annoy me, like washing the plates in the bathroom when there's a sink in the kitchen. Honestly, the routing issues in The Sims 4 are ridiculous, and they need to figure out how to make them use the kitchen. I think that they might have mentioned this in the last patch notes, that they're going to use the kitchen more, so maybe this is fixed a little bit now. Who knows? Whoever knows if anything's actually fixed in The Sims 4. But yeah, guys, that was quite a lot of comments. I didn't realize how many 50 would be, but I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed reading through your guys' comments, and it was really fun to just see other people's annoyances and the kinds of things that bug them in The Sims 4. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and subscribe to the channel as well. I really hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.